So what is the right block we need to be looking for? What blocks are going to give us the best chance to make money in a subdivision project? David, tell me about a time when a client said to you, I really have an ambition, a desire to want to get into a subdivision, want to do one. Where do I start? What do I look for? What's going to give me the best chance for a great success?
Brendan, what's going to give you the best chance for a great success is to pick the right block that doesn't have all of the potential problems that other blocks might have.
Great. Describe it for me.
A block that won't have problems is a block that, for example, isn't covered in trees.
All right.
That's a great starting point. A block that's not going to have problems isn't going to have access issues and isn't going to have issues to do with topography. Unless you love digging holes in the ground, you don't want a site that is not relatively flat. And also, you might want to make sure your neighbours are not a fair distance, but a reasonable distance from the boundaries. And their trees are also reasonable distances from the boundaries. Why am I saying this, Brendan? I'm saying it because the planning scheme, the planning rules look at these sorts of things.
Francis, thoughts?
Well, absolutely. I think looking for the right block to buy is really all about the end product. And the end product is not necessarily just a vacant lot that you have created, but what is going to be built on that vacant block. Now, it could be a steep site, but if that is the product you have in mind that suits that area, then maybe it's a project for you. But if it's not, most of the time, it costs you a lot of money. The other thing to consider as well before buying a block is the restrictions it has on the title. So you have planning restrictions, but you also have existing title restrictions. Are there any easements that are on the site that potentially would be issues? Are there any covenants or restrictions on the title that maybe prevent subdivision? So all these are factors that you will look at before you find the right block.
So what I'm hearing is, and you mentioned it earlier, which was brilliant, the idea of as much as you may want to do a land subdivision yourself, you can't do it in isolation of what will need to be built on it.
Yes.
And to ignore that, you do so at your own peril, which means if you attempt to create a subdivision just to sell the land and stuff can't be built on it, or you've got such a restriction on what gets built on it, it won't sell. And it won't sell for a price that's going to make money for you. So, Jimmy, any other additional thoughts that you've got around what people might want to look for in a block of land to know that they can do it comfortably and confidently?
I think to me, the most important thing is a financial consideration, whether you can make money. So in the development exercise, the provision of these services, drain, sewerage, electrical, telecommunication, things like that, even gas, all this costs money, physical work. The worst scenario is when you get a plot of land where the sewer is made, could be 500 meters away.
Oh, okay.
So it costs you a lot of money to connect. It could be the situation such you can't connect to the sewer line, you have to provide a pumping station, a sewer pumping plant. It can cost you a few $100,000.
Are you talking about pushing the proverbial uphill?
Or sometimes septic tanks.
Okay.
No, septic tank is not may not be approved unless you have in a low density zone 4,000 square meter. Then you can have one septic tank. But we are talking more on the residential or within the metropolitan. So this one is not relevant. So come to the services part. So really have to check thoroughly down before you dig or get the information from the supplying services authority, where has it been any connection nearby, already existing, to avoid bombshell.
So you've all raised brilliant points. And just to sum it out, we've talked about get a flat block, know what you want to do with it, and make sure the services are available. If you buy that sort of thing and large enough in an environment that can be subdivided, you've got a good chance of making some good money. Well, make sure the services are accessible. I mean, it's critical to have the services. Make sure you don't buy something where it's sloping down and away from the road if the services are on the road. Again, the proverbial pumping station for sewer, we don't want to play that game if we can avoid it. So they're really great keys to get started. Tell me about pioneering. Tell me a little bit about the value. Should we go out there and blaze a trail, or should we go with what mainstream is generally done around us?
Blazing a trail?
Blazing a trail.
I would not recommend it.
There are consequences. What do they call it? The bleeding edge.
The bleeding
you
edge.
don't want to be on the bleeding edge.
Blazing a trail, potentially you can start burning your money with that blaze, Brendan. You are not, particularly if you're a novice, pick something that's going to be less risky, that's going to be within the confines of your own and your team's ability to deliver. Get the right team around you, get the right people, the mentors like yourself, Brendan, to deliver the advice and step your way through it from a less complex to more complex over the years.
Brilliant. So, Jimmy, a client came to you, you've done the work with them, it was smooth and wonderful. What made it that? What worked?
Yeah, I think the first thing is you get the team of the consultant to advise. So less issue. Time is money. Everybody knows. And no hidden costs, no other
Surprises.
Time bomb. Yeah, there are many cases along.
I like that phrase, time bomb. I think that is brilliant. No, that is brilliant.
It's very dramatic, Brendan,
Well, no,
but
the
it can
thing is,
be
if-
that.
If it sucks time out of the project, the money just goes through the roof. Sorry, continue.
Yeah. For example, you do, when a lot, you have a land, you have to do 2 lot or 3 lot. Sometimes it's better to do 2 lot because you don't have to pay the
Public open
5-10% contribution to the open space
Yep.
to the council.
Yep.
Yeah. So all this, assuming every site can be subdivided, but not all subdivision is profitable.
Which is the main point, really, Brendan. At the end of the day, just because you can subdivide it doesn't mean you should.
Today we've heard a lot about subdivision. We have gone through a variety of different perspectives around it. And there would have been phrases there that you may not be familiar with or are new to you. If that's the case, then there's the invitation to begin to research and understand more. We don't want to go and buy a block that we think is big enough without the knowledge and then turn that or attempt to turn that into 2 or 3 blocks and find out later there's a plethora of problems that's going to get in the way of that. We want to understand in advance of the purchase decision. Get the right team around you, the land surveyors, the town planners, get the numbers known so that you know that you're making a good buying decision with the greatest potential for the profit. We're not looking to do too much, we just want to move on and keep the process of subdivisions continuing as we evolve into more deals, larger deals, and more frequently undertaken to achieve the financial freedom that we want. Up next, we're going to get real with Jimmy Go.